Hello guys, this is the Tatan from VP Universe. So we are now in the series of advanced tips for colorizing DMD and the Serum format. If you now are into this video, I guess that you've seen the previous ones, or well, I hope. It would be great if you don't, because I will be not showing again all the shortcuts and usage for the software now. So let's have a look about one very nice feature of Colorizing DMD, that is sprite detection. So you should be seeing Colorizing DMD, and I will be using one project that I am working on right now, which is the colorization of Champion Pub. So Champion Pub is a colorization I made I think 2 years ago, something like that. And I wanted to give it a new let's say a new look, a remaster, and for this reason, so I'm working on this one. So I converted the project, and you will see later on in another video how to convert a project from the older .pal, .vni and format to the new Serum format. D-Drummer developed a tool for the authors to help doing it. So I use this conversion software so to get some colorized frame already editable, and now I'm on the Colorizing DMD to work on it. So I will take this example because there is something that is very interesting with Champion Pub, is that you've got some frames like this one when you are fighting against your opponent. So you've got 10 people to fight. Every guy has 4 different animations, whether it is just normal, surprised, halfly injured, or very injured. So 10 times 4 for the 4 animations. And on these animations, you can have a look on the left, you can have a look on the right, and you can have a look straight. So it multiples again the frames by 3, sorry. And then for these frames, there is something that is happening very often, is when you are hitting the guy, so something is popping out. So you've got a pop-up window like this one, where you see the 2 hands and some title in the middle, saying either you've hit, you've stricken the head, the gut, or you've made a jab combo. And this animation has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 frames also. So if you take those 10 guys times 4 for the animation, times 6 for the frames here, it makes quite a huge number of frames. First, to record, to dump, which is very long and very difficult to have all the different possibilities, and also to colorize. So I know that this will be happening. So I know that this animation, this pop-up window, can happen whatever the frame. On top of that, I've got also these. So when you receive some shots, here you can also have these sequences that has exactly the same pop-up window that can pop up, and so again it makes a lot of frames to do. So first option is to record everything and to colorize everything, which can be very time consuming. Second option, which is the one of course I will be using, is to use the sprite detection. So it's a very long introduction to showcase what will be the sprite detection, and sorry about that. So first, what I will have to do is identify a frame that will be the one that will be used on, for example, this frame, on which I know that there will be the sprite, or there could be the sprite. So this will be my starting frame, and it's on this frame that I will add, and I will explain the software to look for some sprites. So to add and remove some sprites, I will be using these buttons here and the combo box list that is right below. But before being able to detect some sprite, I need to draw them. So to draw them, I will need to copy paste them into the sprite window. So I will be using here, I've got here the sprite window. You see that I've made some already because I've been doing some testing just before. So I will be showing with the new one. What is very, very, very important to know and to remember is that when you will be copy pasting the sprite, so this one for example, it will keep the palette of the original frame it was coming from, and you won't be able to change that afterwards. So it is really important that you make the colorization first, that you make sure that the palette you will be using will be the same or very close to the one that will be used on the frame that will detect the sprite, because it will be easier to manage later on. You can adapt, but it's easier if the palettes are exactly the same. So what I will do to ensure that for this sequence is I will be doing only some copy paste from one sequence to the other to make sure that I've got everything. So let's take, I will use this one, copy the head, paste it on this one, for example, here. So now you see the basic palette has been, basic colors have been changing because I've used quite a huge number of colors on this palette. So so this is why it's been changing. So now I've got this one colored, and I know that the palettes are the same because I've made some copy paste, and when copy pasting in ColorizingDMD, it also copy paste the palettes, the original palettes. So I know that everything will be the same, no matter that I color right now the sprite. It can be done later on, no problem with that. What I will do perhaps is use perhaps a bigger one. Well, makes no difference. So I will want to create this detection for this sprite. So I will copy paste, so select, copy, I go to the sprite, here the sprite window, I will here select a new, so it will be jab, let's say frame number 3. I click on plus to create the sprite that is called jab number 3, and then I just paste with either the button or Control plus V, and here the sprite is displayed. So I see here the sprite with the raw frame, and here the sprite with the colored frame. Here I can reselect the colors that I wanted to be colored on with the original palette again. So here I can use, for example, this to colorize the pixel. So on this mode for now, the sprite window has less colorizing options. So you only have monochrome colorization. So you have to do it pixel by pixel in order, or using the magic wand, in order to make sure that you will be colorizing the way you want it. So let me just do it here. So you can also colorize it just before copy pasting. This way you can take the advantage and the benefit of the original colorizing tools that are in the standard window. But yeah, it's not so long, so let me just finish that. Control Z to cancel if you made an error. Try to concentrate a bit, make sure that I'm not losing any of this, and I will be using white for here the score. So now my sprite is completely colored. I've got here the raw frame. What I will need to do is explain to software what it will be looking for. So I will need to create a detection zone. So you can create up to 4 detection zones if ever your sprite is only partially visible on the frames. So if you've got, for example, a moving, and one of these options, for example, was used, I don't know if you've seen the Tron colorization project. So on the Tron table, Tron DMD, you've got a motorcycle that is just passing by. So the motorcycle is sometimes just half of it, that you can see half of it. So this is why we're using different detection zone, and Ebor use different detection zone. For this one, it's always displayed complete, so I will be using only one detection zone, and the fewer you use, the better it is, because for computer it's not so difficult, but when we'll be using some real pinball machine devices, it might be a bit of a burden to do it. So what is important again is to detect, to find a detection zone. This detection zone must have at least 4 active pixels wide. So if I do only 3, it will just bring an error saying no, it's not enough, you cannot do it. So try to select quite a small area that will be unique. So it can be, for example, this one here, or I don't know, this one, for example, let's say. So I take some pixel, I just need to have a mix of pixel, make sure that it will be unique. So different shades, different shapes and so on. This way I've got a great chance that this detection zone will be unique. So now I will be saving that, and I've got, sorry, let me save my project. Here it is. I've saved all the information for the sprite. What I will do now is get back to the frame where I know this sprite might be popping up, and then add it to the detection list. So here, sorry, on the sprite, I go back to the sprite. You need to activate the sprite that you want to detect. So let me just perhaps do it like that. Here I've got the 2 windows. So I select here sprite jab 3, and I will go on this one and I will add it with the plus button, and then I will see jab 3. If I want to add multiple sprites, meaning that it will detect either one or another. For now we are limited, we cannot detect multiple times the same sprite on the window. DRAMA is working on that, but for now it's the way it works. So I've made, for example, another one that is this one, made more or less the same way. That is called shot 2. So I select here shot 2, and I go to the first window, and I click on the plus button, and it will also add shot 2 as a detection. So now I just have to save, and on this frame it will be looking for the detection zone, and display on an overlay on the top of everything, display the sprite as it is colorized. And I can do that on every single frame where I made some, I know that there might be the sprite displayed. So jab 3, I will want to add it to this one. So here it is, jab 3. I know I go to Winston, this one. I know this guy will be beaten also when in this position, also in this position. And this way, you see, I can very quickly, the same for Den Honda, I can very quickly add the sprite detection for all of these. So in this project, I will have something like, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, let's say 5, perhaps. I don't know whether I will try to detect the 3 shots, so jab, gut, and jab, meaning the 15 sprite might be a lot of detections and so on, might be a bit slowly. So what I could do also as an option is to detect only for the hand, as I've made, and just draw rather than displaying jab combo. I can display, I don't know, something like jab or whatever with a normal, without the scores, and keep the score whenever only I've got the biggest frame. Just looking whether I can see it. Yeah, like that. So, and keep just this frame when it is completely full screen, just to display the score that is in dynamic, and the whether it is a headshot, a gut shot, or a jab combo. Well, that's it for my project, and that's it for sprite detection. As you can see, it's quite straightforward. If ever, so I was mentioning again, really important to keep the same palette. If ever you made an error and you didn't pay too much attention, you create some sprite from one frame, and for any reason you needed to change the palette of the destination frame, meaning that if I try to use the same sprite detection with the palette, for example this one, which has a completely different palette, If I want to use the sprite detection here, it will be working, no problem. It will be looking for it, and it can detect it and it can display it, but the colorization won't be good. So in that, what it will do is it will try to match the colors, well, the color position from the destination palette to the original one. What I mean is I've painted in green the line here. So I've used this one, this position. So it's fourth column, fourth line. So in this, if I use and it is detected here, the green will be displayed with this color, the brown one, which is not what is expected. So again, you might adjust after the sprite if you need to, but yeah, it's not so easy. So you better create a new sprite and make sure that you match the palette. Even if it's the same one, it will be named differently, and this way you will be sure that you will use the right palette for it. So that's it for sprite detection. I hope that it was clear. Again, what I'm saying each time, experiment, use it yourself. It's the best way to learn how to do it. You can have a demonstration of this on the Scared Stiff project. If you go to the Scared Stiff project, which I am sharing the files from in this video description, you can find, it will be easier with a section here, you can find, if you go to score credit here, you will see that there is different sprites that are detected. So 7 frame of the bat that is just passing by, sorry. And here you got the different sprites that are displayed here. As you can see, there is 2 different colors because I've taken this sprite not from the same of this one, and I made the error that I'm warning you against. This is why I'm just insisting. So when here I am colorizing in red, in the frame it will be displayed in it should be displayed in green. Okay, so it seems that I made an error again on this one. So yeah, okay, something to control. So just to say again that yeah, it's very important to be careful with that when you're using sprite detection. So you can have an example here. Do not hesitate to have a look at it. And if you have any questions towards this feature or any feature of Colorizing DMD, do not hesitate to join us on the Discord channel, and we're here to help. Thank you.